Hi, Stacy here. I just want to take a minute and share some about my gardening adventure today. I have a pond garden here that I decided to, it used to be a pond garden. Those of you that know me know that I live in New Mexico and there isn't a whole lot of water here. So that really helped me to dive deeper into water conservation and soil restoration. And one of the greatest things that I learned was I needed to mulch my spaces. And now here we are about 5 years later, and I really see the soil regenerating to a way where it's holding water and it's filled with a lot more nutrients. And so mulching was hands down one of the best things I could have done in my garden spaces. In the beginning, it was so compact that I would jump on a shovel to try to dig a hole and I couldn't get it to move. And now, if you look here, I have lots of mulch down. I tend to lay it right before winter time. I put a new layer down every year right before winter so that any snow that we receive, it's holding on to the water and really letting it seep into the soil. And so I just put a fresh layer down, and then here I am. We're in June, and I'm planting eggplant and squash. I have realized that in this specific space, these two plants do really well. They love sun and they love heat, and not a whole lot of other things really survive in this space, but squash and eggplant really love it. I also wanted to point out that through the mulching, I have a lot of mycelium starting to form underneath. And if you don't know about mycelium, it's kind of what people like to call the wood wide web. Mycelium is the interconnectedness between all of the plants, and it really informs all of the plants that are living in this community what other plants may need. So if you have one plant that needs more water, then it'll ask the other plants to send it. If one's getting a disease, then the mycelium will say, hey, this guy's sick. Can you please send some medicine this way to help fix that specific plant that might be struggling? I started this garden 3 years ago, and it's been really great to see it thrive and grow. And I planted currant bushes, this one, and then this one, and then this one. And the currants grow locally up here in the mountains, and I wanted to have currants. If you haven't had currants, they're like a berry bush, and we do not have a whole lot of luck growing berries up here because our soil is very alkaline, and berry bushes tend to like different kinds of soils. And currants are really yummy. They have a tartness to them, and they're a little bit of sweetness. So I'm glad that these are really getting big and thriving. One of the things I also learned is that right now I'm facing south, and having these trees butt up against the garden to offer shade offers some of the relief from the heat that we receive. And I did that all along here. So we have the pond garden here, and then I have some holly and some locusts and some scrub oak and some juniper all lined along here. And so what I did is once again, I did the mulch through here, and been planting fruit trees. And the fruit trees are doing really great because I got late bloomers. When we get a late frost and we have those blossoms on the fruit trees, they tend to not bear fruit because the frost gets them. But these guys, they blossom later in the year, so that helps them to be able to bear fruit. And then I have my raspberry, and then Brussels sprouts. And of course, we need a moonflower. If you don't know about Moonflower Retreats, that's the Airbnb and retreat center that I have here. Come visit if you like. Moonflower Retreats on Airbnb.com. I also let some of the wild plants grow. This is globe mallow, and I like to let her grow. And I harvest a bunch of her. I like to use it for my hair. And it's also a cell rebuilder, so I make a homemade pain cream. And globe mallow is really great for rehabilitating cells. And then we have our potato garden here. They're really starting to take off. And then here we have, I'm sure you all know what that is. That beautiful lady growing nice. My husband is growing her, so she's getting nice and big. And then we have some Swiss chard and some asparagus. These beds I'm actually breaking down. We're getting the property ready to sell in 2026, and we're making a big shift to Oklahoma. So all of those beds are sleeping right now while I rebuild them. Then we have, this is my medicine garden. We have red clover. We have some lily that my daughter gave me for Mother's Day. A rose bush. I use roses for all kinds of stuff. Thyme. Virginia creeper. Lemon balm. Up there on the porch we have rosemary and mint. Mugwort. Yarrow. Marigold. Strawberries. Purslane. This is a volunteer, and I like to keep her around and add her to salads. And then we have some more purslane with some fire pokers. So, thank you for taking the time to take a tour of my little garden here. And I look forward to sharing more about how can we really think about water conservation. We are in a crisis, especially in the Southwest. Water is becoming more and more depleted, and we have to take a moment and pause and think about how are we conserving it, and how are we using it in a responsible way. In addition to the fruits and vegetables that you eat, they have nutrients in them. Where are they getting the nutrients from? They're getting it from the soil. How are we replenishing the soil with nutrients so that we can eat healthy, feel better, be more connected, and continue to keep growing our own food? And that is my personal mission, is really thinking about agroforestry, how are we replanting trees, and about soil restoration and agronomy, and how are we replenishing the soils that we have. So thank you for joining me on my journey. As always, I offer you peace, love, and light. I pray for each of you every single morning that any struggles or any growing that you're experiencing at this time, that it comes to ease to you.